I definitely care about money, 100%. Money is super important for me because that gives me choice and opportunities. I know that. But what I'm basically, my strategy in being with you in Night Owl Nation is to
Mhm.
follow what you teach and create online platform where I would hopefully, my idea is, by the way, to maybe have a Zoom calls I can teach for free, just learning, what I have learned in a life, and then I can even have like a podcast that you have now with me also for free.
I don't want you to think like that, right?
Mhm.
This is the problem. People always think that, oh, I would like to have a podcast, I would like to speak, I would like to write a book. That
Uh,
you like to do all those things, not knowing what those things really mean, what they really entail. Do you know? You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the thing about, like, do you know what it means to have a podcast? Do you know, like,
No, and
do
I
you know
can
what
see.
part of it,
No, zero.
like, do
No,
you know
but
what part of that you're gonna get pleasure from? Like, it's not really what you. A lot of these things, they're not really what you think. It's like
see
saying,
what you
"Oh, I
mean.
would like to
Yeah.
have a podcast," blah blah blah. That's like saying, "Oh, I would like to write a book, and I would like to." Like, here's the thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is so important because if you really, really, really want to help people, you can do that right now. Do you know what I mean? If you just want to focus on helping people without worrying about money at all, you can do that right now. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's that I think all of us has like a minimum. All of us has a minimum threshold. It's like, no, I need at least this amount of money in order to, maintain my style of living or whatever. That I need a minimum of this. Otherwise, like, why not just live in the street in a in a sleeping bag in a tent, and then just do what you love, right? Like, because it's because we have a minimum standard of like living, or we want to maintain, right?
Mm.
So let's not lie about that, and let's figure out at minimum what do we need to do to get here,
Mm.
right? And then once we are there, like, let's say, okay, are we really happy here, or do we want more, right?
Mm.
Like, let's not lie to ourselves about that, right? But let's make sure that's there, and let's not confuse this with this other thing where we want to help people, right?
Mm.
So let's make this happen first. And once we're here, step one, then let's worry about step two,
I
which
love
is
your
helping people.
strategy. So, what would you recommend us the next?
Are you happy with step one?
I'm
That's
happy.
my question.
My
Number one
my.
question.
Wait, hold on. What's my step one? Step one. Oh, I've got a cash flow job. I love, and I want to build online business to help young
Like,
people for
are you
free.
happy with the your financial situation right now? Like, if you will never ever ever from this point on, you'll, like, this is your financial situation forever. Okay, it's
Hmm.
never gonna get better. Are you happy with that?
No.
Okay, then let's fix that first. Because
I
if you're not
see.
happy with
I
that, you're not
see.
going to be happy with that next year. You're not going to be happy with the year after that. You're not going to happy. And while you're trying to help people right now, you're not fixing that.
Oh, I see. And now I can see now. I'm just connecting the dots. So you're asking me, be happy in the first step, which is your cash flow, and establish yourself to have your finances in order.
I'm. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to a point where you literally 100% of your energy is spent on helping people,
Hmm.
because you don't even have to worry about money at all.
That is
I'm trying to
true.
get you to that point, right? So how can you
Hmm.
get to that point? You need money. You- Two things needs to happen. One, you either need enough money that you can not worry about money, or two, you need to not care about, like, what do you call it? Like, physical things, like, objects that cost money, so
Hmm.
that you really don't care about money,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
those are the only two ways. Like, you either have to go more this way or more this way. So whatever it is, however it's gonna help you, let's fix that first.
Mm.
Because here's the thing. I think last week I said this. Everyone I know goes through two stages in life, right? They go through the success stage where, you know, like all the Gary Vee, the David Goggins, like, hey, you wake up in the morning, go hustle, do your ice bath, like, your potential is so much greater than where you are now, right? Like, go after it, right? And then there's this message of Gabby and all these other, law of attraction. It's like, you're perfect where you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Like,
I hated
you're
that.
no, like happiness, everything's within you already, right? Those two messages. The reason why that happens is because I think, okay, out of everyone out there who's preaching about, oh, money's not gonna make you happy, money's not gonna make you happy, like, I don't care about money, blah blah blah, all of this thing. Like, every single one of them don't really mean it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, the only people that really don't care about money are billionaires.
Hmm.
Either billionaires or people who really don't care about money. But most people, like almost everyone that I talk to that says they don't care about money, really do care about money. And I think the only way they can learn to not, because the first lesson in life is to that, how can I get to a point where I really don't care about money, right?
Hmm.
The only way you can learn that lesson is to have so much money that you realize how that doesn't make you happy. That's the only way. How else are you going to know that?
Hmm.
It's kind of like this, right? I'll give you an analogy. For everyone, it takes different amount. For some people, it takes 1 million. For some people, it takes 100 million. For some people, it takes 100 billion. Maybe for Elon Musk, it takes 1 trillion. I don't know, right? But for everyone, it's a different amount, right? But I'll put it this way. When I first started Night Owl, the reason why I started Night Owl was there was this $10,000 camera that I wanted to buy because I wanted to be a filmmaker. Okay, so I needed to save $10,000. So I started. I had a job and I started freelancing on the side to save money. Right. 3 years later, that turned into Night Owl, my agency, and then a few years later, we became like one of the top agencies in New York. And I got to a point where I can buy 100 of those cameras. I didn't really want one anymore. The camera, like the thing that I wanted more than anything in this life, the $10,000 camera, which is why I started freelancing and all of that. Like 6 years later, I didn't even want. Now that I can buy 100 of them, I didn't want it. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm. This is the same effect that I think everyone needs to learn. That, oh, I just want, because a lot of people that I talk to, most of my employees that I talk to, everyone that I talk to, when I ask them like how much money they want and stuff like that, none of them want to be a billionaire. Like, you know what they usually tell me? Oh, like, I think I'll be happy if I had like $200,000 in the bank. I'm like, really? Like, I guarantee you, if you have $200,000 in the bank, you're not going to be happy. I could guarantee you that, right? But until they have that, they won't know that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's why I'm saying, whatever that amount is, let's get you there first. So
Hmm.
you really realize that that's not a worry anymore, and you can really focus on helping people.
I can see your point. I
Do you
think
know
you
what I mean?
just said something like you just something clicked within me because are you saying I'm asking you how can I actually help the young generation and also create money is because actually I'm worried on the other side I don't have actually enough cash flow
Exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
what why the conflict is. But if I
You
would be
gotta put your
taught,
own mask on.
yeah, but if I would be zen, then I can just give and give and give and then I would be like super happy anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's the thing. It's hard for me to teach this lesson to people because, like
hmm,
I said, it's a different threshold. My
hmm,
threshold happens to be really, really, really low. Like, for my threshold, because I can really care less if me and Gigi were sleeping in a tent outside in the street with our dog, and we were like going to buy canned food, and we were like, as I really don't mind that at all.
hmm.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
do.
when you really don't care about money, and when you can really do what you want to do, when you what you want to do is so important that you're willing to live in a tent doing it.
Mm.
But it's hard for me to get people to accept that, right? Because for me, that as Gigi, right? Like we've actually been in moments where we were sleeping in a sleeping bag, going in your sports club to take showers, like, you know, we've been in those moments, and I've been in times like that in my life, right? And the thing is, none of that scares me.
Mm.
But what happened was, since then, I've never even come close to that. I
Mm.
guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you really love something and you go all in without caring for money at all, the money, like, you'll never have to really worry about money.
Mm.
But nobody really goes all in because they're kind of worried about money, so they go half in, and then they
Mm.
go half in on this. So they don't really make the money, and they don't really love what they but they don't really enjoy what they're doing either. So they're kind of,
Mm.
everyone's kind of stuck in this half place where they don't really love what they're doing, and they're not really making money either.